Good evening and welcome to another episode of Sip and Chat. And this will be the final episode of the season one. Today is the last day, and obviously, since we're still in March, I only thought it right to end this episode and this season actually with a woman. March is Women's Month, and I felt it was very necessary to bring a beautiful woman, a brilliant woman that's doing something for the society, for girls to have a conversation with. And I like the conversations I've been having with people. And welcome to Sip and Chat, everyone. The imaginary clap. Let's go. Right before I introduce my guest, a massive thank you to Tickets. If you are not a follower of Tickets, please get on Instagram and follow Wax by Tickets. They made all these custom-made outfits for me from last week's episode to this week, and I have so many more for the following season that will come up after Ramadan. Tickets has been doing amazingly well, and everything is cut to perfection. I didn't try these; they were shipped to me, and I wore them today. That's the beauty of Tickets. Massive thank you to Kalimba. Thank you for hosting Sip and Chat. Thank you for being such a great host. Massive thank you to Global Properties. Thank you for being our partner for season one. We'll see you in season two. But let's just get into the show proper before we do our thank yous at the end. Welcome to Sip and Chat.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here, and I'm looking forward for a fruitful conversation.
Same. I'm looking forward to a really, really great conversation.
Yeah.
Just quickly tell the people who you are.
My name is Fatima Tassane, and I am the founder executive director of Fatima Spa Drive. Also a university student, and our third year studying political science. And yeah,
Nice.
I think I was born and raised in Banjul, so I moved to Mandina Ring not long ago. 2 years ago, so it's a long time because I go in and out.
Okay.
Time flies, really. Yeah. And yeah, I think nothing interesting. Anyway.
If you're on here, there must be something interesting about you. You have something called Fatima Spa Drive.
Yeah.
And that really piqued my interest when I heard about it. When they told me, I said, what? Someone that's doing something for girls. And, underprivileged girls and girls that, well, like you said, pad poverty. Just give me a little bit of insight about Fatima's Spa Drive.
Okay, so I'll start with my personal experience. When I was 12 years old in my 7th grade, I experienced my period for the first time. Used to live with an extended family, so but not once did I come across someone talking about their periods openly. And there were like more than 20 women there. My aunties were there, my sister's cousins were there, and they were all older than me. But then when they used to send me to the shop to get them sanitary pads at the corner shop, I have to wrap it like it's sort of illegal, like a drug. Or even after wrapping it, I don't want people to know the shape.
Yeah.
So I was it was already made up in my mind that period is something that you're supposed to be ashamed of. So when I saw my period the first time, I did not tell anyone. But then in school, because I went to GMA, Methodist Academy, there was a time we were asked to stay back after assembly. The girls and then the boys were asked to go to their classes. So we were given a hint about period, but then at the same time I was like, if boys are supposed to go to their classes and girls are supposed to stay and listen, then it means that this is something that should be private. So after weeks, my period came, and I was like, okay, it has come, and I hate it. I hissed and I I yelled, I did everything. I hated it. So I was like, why should I even experience this? What did I do to deserve period at this age? And then I was just going with the flow. I was on my period, and then Ramadan came. I fasted because I don't want people to even be suspicious that I was on my mens. All that is because people around me, like the environment I was raised in, were not showing me that period is something that is very normal. So I grew up having that misconception. Not just that, I went through period poverty because I couldn't afford period products. My mom is not like my mom is not privileged at all. She's a housewife. My dad was a driver. So I've seen that they were struggling, and I don't want to put the burden of them, asking them for period products. So after I even told my mom like I was on my period, she gave me something like a cloth, her hair tie. Yes, she took her hair tie. I mean, the most precious to her, and said, "You can use this when you're a period." And she tied a rope around my waist and said, and then there was a way she showed me that I should be wearing that, but that couldn't sustain my flow. So here comes the problem. I couldn't ask my mom again for period products. So what I do is like I go to the tailors every month to take rags and then sustain my flow. And then sometimes when I go to school, because they were giving period products in my school because it was a private school, so it's available. But then there's limit to what number of pads you can get from the school. So that is how I get to manage my period using rags. Sometimes I use my socks to sustain my flow, just not to get stained. But then at some point I had an infection, and then there was also this half-baked informations because my mom didn't get to tell me that. I mean, but I had from friends that when a guy touches you, you will be pregnant.
Yep.
Okay, so after 1 month, my period skipped, and I was in the same class with guys. So I was actually very scared, and I went to the hospital. So I met, it was polyclinic to be specific. So because I used to live in Banjul. So I went to the hospital, and then I found a nurse there. Actually, he was a guy. And after I saw him, let me say, like when I met the nurse and I told him, like, he said, "Why are you here with a front face?" And I was so scared, and I was like, maybe he could see it in my eyes that I'm already pregnant. So I'm like, I'm sick. He said, "Lula Jat." I said, "I missed my period." He said, "Are you pregnant?" I said, "I'm not sure if I'm pregnant because, I've taught guys and guys have touched me because we're in the same class." And he was like, he gave me something, little like a cup, and said, "Go and pee on it." When I peed, and then the results came, and he was like, "You're not pregnant. You can go home." But then I still have no knowledge about what was going. So I was just 12 with so much information that we are not even factual. And then I was confused. So I go to bed stressed. I wake up stressed. And my period still wasn't there for me. So at some point I'm like, let me just talk to my home economics teacher, Mrs. Lewis and Miss Mary. When I told them, they were like, "It is normal for your period to skip the first month." And that is when I started going to, I made the computer science teacher in my school a friend. So I would go to Google and make research about period. And that is how I find out about so many stuff about period. I decided that I should teach myself so many things about period. But that wasn't the case. So because I'm unprivileged and I found myself in that circumstance, I tried to talk to, young girls around my age, around my area about periods. So they were telling me like the same story. So I realized I was not in the struggle alone. But then at some point I was so into my school and, my business. I actually forget about period struggles until there was a time that I traveled to Ghana and I came back. And when I went to Ghana, I had some of my friends who were talking about the struggles they go through when they're on their periods. I came back and I talked to like the younger girls in my house because it's an extended family. I have young girls that are older, and when I talked to them about their periods, I realized they were all shy and they were telling me the struggles they go through. They were using the same methods I used to manage my period. I feel bad and guilty. So in 2019, I founded Fatima's Pad Drive, a woman-led organization that advocates for access to free period products, menstrual hygiene education through service education and advocacy. That was how the Fatima's Pad Drive was brought into picture. Yeah.
Interesting story. Interesting and also kind of sad. That,
Yeah.
A lot of girls go through this.
Of course.
And first, the lack of education about periods, because it's normal. It's a normal
It's
occurrence.
normal, very normal.
Every woman experiences that.
Yeah.
And that should be something. So in this instance of you explaining the part about it not being explained to you right before your period came or even when your period came, I know that because I've been in situations where people wouldn't talk about periods when
Yeah.
I was a teenager myself, and then I didn't understand that because, like you, I kept wondering, why aren't they talking about it? If this is a
Exactly.
normal
It's
occurrence
very
for a woman,
normal.
why aren't they talking about it? I remember having that conversation with my mom after. Like, but why don't people talk about it? She says, it's always been a private thing. I said, but if every woman goes through it, I don't think it's that private.
It's not. It's not private. I
At
think.
all,
Yeah. I
you
think
know.
it's because, like I was saying, even the labelings of our body is something that we cannot talk about. Like you can say my vagina, my penis, my vulva. So at some point you realize that especially the woman body. So when you cannot talk openly about your body parts, then it'll be very hard to talk about the things you go through. Obviously, so it'll be hard to tell people like you're going on cramps or stuff like that. Even when you're having cramps, you have to lie and
you have
to
to
cover up. I have headache, my neck is paining and stuff like that. Even though those are like symptoms that we go through when we're on our periods, but then why not just say I'm on my period? Hence, it's natural and it's a gift. There are so many people out there that wanted to see their period and they couldn't. So when you are like lucky enough to see a period every month, I mean, just say I am on my period and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but because we have this misconception that
brainwashed.
period is nasty, it's dirty, it's private, you shouldn't talk about it, you should hide it, that will make you a perfect woman. So then we grow up with that mentality and we want to be the strong black woman. So we don't just talk about periods like that, and
But you're
it's very bad.
You're touching on things that are very
I
you're
know.
touching on things that I'm very passionate about when you talk about the strong black woman, or when you talk about you're not supposed to talk about this to be the perfect woman in the eyes of society,
Yeah.
which we will get into. But when you started the Fatima's Pat Drive, how now do you have help? And the pads that you have, are they for free? How do you get them to distribute them? How do you distribute them to girls?
So for the fact that I'm advocating for free access to menstrual products, so I don't get to sell the pads.
Okay.
How I get the pads, it's from individuals, like people that can relate to my stories. Some don't even know like the story, but then through my advocacy, I put it in the face of people like this is what is going on, because not everybody knows that period poverty is a thing. So I use social media as a tool for advocacy and through outreach. So I get pads through donations from everyone that can donate. So sometimes I even say like when you contribute $50 or $100, you have saved a girl from missing school, because girls miss school because of lack of period products.
True.
So I get period products from people, individuals, organizations, sometimes help support. We're still struggling with getting here and there. And the distribution is through schools. We take these pads to beneficiaries, like we contact schools and like tell them we want to come there. Sometimes schools contact us, because now schools know there's Fatima's Pat Drive. So most of the time these schools contact us and say like we need period products for our students, because we're tired of seeing them good students dropping out of school when they start seeing their periods, which is very heartbreaking. Or they will tell us like students are missing school and they're seeing their periods and they don't have pads to sustain their periods, or they cannot manage their periods effectively in school. So we go to schools, we distribute pads. Not just that, we train these young girls on sexual and reproductive health, sexual education, and then we talk to them about period stigma and discrimination, clear the myths and misconception, because that is how they grow, that is how they perceive period, like it's a bad thing. So we clear that part first. Then when we clear that part, then we build that kind of connection with them, a sisterhood bond, whereas we'll continue speaking to these young girls and then build their self-esteem so they can openly talk about their periods, so be able to ask or demand for their rights for period. Because come on, periods are basic necessity. We shouldn't see them as burden, but when they are placed on us, like when people are already showing us that period is a burden to us, then what can we do? We have no choice. So we try to disconstruct the mentality that period is a normal thing, and we should just bleed freely, bleed with dignity. Like whether you know it or not, you either bleed or somebody you know bleeds.
Please, that's true.
So it's not a secret.
Thank you very much. Hold
Yeah.
that thought. I'll be right back with you. After this break, we'll be right back more with Fatimata of Fatima's Pat Drive.
When we started this project, we looked at few things: location, accessibility, and the potential for growth. All these things make sense from a homeowner and investor's point of view. But we wanted to do more than that. We decided to offer services as well. This means providing infrastructure like water and electricity, as well as internal roads to widen the accessibility to properties, especially for the first-time buyers. A lot of people are buying land these days, but can't either access it for the next 2 to 3 years, and even if they get access, they would lack the basic infrastructure we offer to start building right away. This project allows you the freedom to choose whatever structure you want to build yourself, allowing freedom of choice in one of the fastest developing areas in Gunjur, Sifo. And since this project was created with the preservation of its lush natural environment in mind, we call it Greenville, the first and only NEA certified housing project in the Gambia with close to 700 units available. This is an offer any environmentally conscious buyer would not pass up. Call us today and arrange a tour with one of our agents and see the beauty and potential of Gunjur Sifo.
Welcome back after that break. A massive thank you to Global Properties for being partners of Sip and Chat. Massive thank you to Tickets for providing me with amazingly done outfits all the way from Cote d'Ivoire, but she's Gambian and these are made by a Gambian. She's just based in Cote d'Ivoire. So please get on Instagram, follow Wax by Tickets and get amazing pieces specifically designed to your taste. Thank you, Tickets. And I have the beautiful Fatima, Fatimata. I can just call you Fatima.
Yeah.
It will make me feel better.
Yeah, it's fine.
Fatima, oh, thank you. Thank you. And what is this, Fatu? Kalimba Special. Thank you. So thank you to Kalimba for always taking care of me and my guests every time.
Thank you.
This entire season, so thank you. So right before the break, we were discussing how kids will drop out of school because of lack of pads. You know, I think anyone out there would not have thought this was a thing.
Yeah, no.
So the fact that this is a thing is mind-blowing because, you know, when you're in a position in your life where you don't think about stuff like that and someone brings it to your attention, it actually shocks you back to say, wow, this is actually happening. When it shouldn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
It shouldn't.
So yes, girls drop out of schools because of lack of period products. Because when you can afford period products or when you don't have good facilities or toilet facilities to manage your period at school, you miss like every month you have to miss like 5 or 6 days of miss school days, and at some point it becomes unproductive and at some point you lost interest in going to school, and that is how young girls drop out of school. And it doesn't just stop there. When you drop out of school and you're like, you know, the society we live in, so you are vulnerable to child marriage. All of a sudden you are married, and then another problem, you as a teenager get married like in a country with not proper health facilities, then you have to give back. And then you know, we have seen the surviving something like Gambian Women Lives Matters. So most of the time these young girls are exposed to risk condition like early marriage, teenage pregnancies, and you know, child exploitation, because you drop out of school, you want to be something or somebody, so you get into anything that will bring you something like profit into your family. You don't want to be seen as somebody useless, so you try going and searching for different opportunities, like you're desperate for help to support yourself. And these are all things that we don't look at when we talk about period poverty, but it does happen. I've seen girls that drop out of school because of that. Even though they are not saying it, you came to you realize that that's it. That's the reason. Because at some point, when I do things like that, when I go to TVs or radios and after shows, people call me and say, it's like you were talking for me. Like, I can relate to your story. I went through this, I went through that. I'm like, okay, I was not in the struggle alone. There are some people with worse situation that I went through. So yeah, it does happen. But when you're on the privileged side, you don't get to
You
know
don't
things.
really
Yeah,
realize these things happen,
of course.
and you don't understand to the extent of what a detrimental thing it
Yes.
is for girls. And you know, I'm so happy that you're taking this cause, and this is something you've championed. It's yours.
Yeah.
It's who you are, and it's what you're sharing with the world.
It is.
Do you have girls that, for example, when you go to schools and you distribute, do you have girls that join the organization after to work with you to help others as well? How is that happening?
Actually, the organization is still very young, and you cannot bring in girls without, at least at some point you have to give them something
Yeah.
to say thank you. And the organization is still young. We that like champion the organization, like I will say, start with me. There is nothing like I would say I am benefiting from it apart from the research I make and I learn as I go, as I grow. So perhaps in the future we'll have like membership and we'll have like regional regions everywhere where we will put like people there to say this is Fatima Spa Drive theme, and then we can support girls anywhere. But as of now, we just support girls through social media. You reach out to me through my phone number, and I try a way to reach to you. And I have questions about your period. You reach out to me. If I cannot make that clear, I link you to a doctor or a nurse I know to help you. So that is how I grow. But as time goes on, I'm looking forward to see this Fatima Spa Drive to somewhere very far. I mean, not just in Gambia, but in Africa. So I have sisters organization in other countries, whereas we have sometimes meetings and talk about our challenges, what we go through as Spa Drives, and how to better ourselves, and how to protect ourselves, because sometimes you realize that you're doing this work and at some point you're losing yourself.
That is actually true. When you're too invested in something emotionally, it drains you of your energy.
Exactly.
So is it just you right now?
No, I have a team actually. We sort of like 6 to 7 people. We have programs, we have communications, we have 2 people that are just voluntarily. They don't have no position yet, but then whatever we are to do, they join in, and then that we're training them, So at some point, even if we are not here, they can carry on.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a team.
It is a team.
And shout out to Team Fatima Spa Drive. They're very amazing.
You touched on something that is very important on the show, which is mental health. You did say that you do distribute pads to women in the psychiatric wards, like Tanka Tanka. How did that start? Your focus was so much on school. No one would have thought, oh, let me visit the women that are mentally challenged in the moment right now and they're getting help in Tanka Tanka. How's that going, and how did that start? Because mental health is, as you already know, it's like a taboo subject to talk about here. So to have someone that's not just helping the women but also talking about helping the women, it's something else.
So I always say it's girls everywhere. The people that know me will know that I am so much into visiting the Tanka Tanka. Even before I started the Fatima Spa Drive, I find peace being with those people, because when you go there, they're so real. Sometimes they can be a little aggressive, but that's it, because they are not mentally stable. But I usually go there, and I know sometimes the things they go through. I used to try personally to help when I can. But when I started this drive, I thought of them and the women in the prison. And I'm like, yes, they might be there, but they deserve this. And then not being mentally stable doesn't mean like your period will stop, because you must continue to bleed. And some of them are there and they're neglected by their families. They don't get to have these period products. So it is necessary for me to, just go in there and donate them these pads. It's not like I'm doing them a favor, but then I owe it to them. I feel like I owe it to them, because I don't know where I will end up tomorrow, and I will love it when exactly, because we are all kind of related in Gambia. Your cousin is my cousin, my cousin is a cousin, or we're all friends. So you don't even have to be related or know somebody to help that person. But then when it comes to mental health, people think like when you are mentally unstable, then you're not part of society. Like people push you aside, which is very bad. I feel like we don't give mental health issue the necessary attention it needs in the Gambia. I mean, we see people moving in like, and we know that like, they losing it, but we just let them be until they're out there and at the point that we cannot no longer help, and then we just throw them at tanka, which is very bad. So the issue of mental health is a taboo here, but I think if we look at it like any other disease, like or a virus, like you break your leg or you have headache or stomach ache, then we give it the necessary attention, like the ones we are giving malaria, AIDS, tuberculosis, hypertension, cancer, then I think it will be a lot better. Because mental health, I mean, someone might even look happy, you go to school, appear to work, and it's, depressed. Someone might be sad and be smiling all around, and just one day we lost that person, and you are like, but she was looking so happy. Deep down, she's so, broken. So it's good that we check on our loved ones and see how they are doing, no matter what. Like, even if you haven't heard from someone for a long time, maybe you just reach out and see, hey, how are you doing? I was just checking on you. I mean, you might save a person from, doing something like she was thinking of doing. Sometimes we're just all in the, on the fence. We just want to fall down and something is holding us up. So, I mean, be that person to be there to hold the people back. Like, hey, you cannot do that because we really care about you. Because, mental health is just like any other sickness.
That needs attention.
That needs attention.
And like, for your own personal experience, have you had any bouts of mental health that you've dealt with that you want to share with us?
I mean, like 2 years ago, I wanted to quit university because, I couldn't pay my fees, and I know, like, I was going through a lot because I needed work. I wanted to work. I couldn't, and, I have a very traumatic experience while growing up. I had very unstable childhood. I mean, people I grew up with will be like, what is she talking about? Because maybe I don't share that at home. But I have a very unstable childhood, so sometimes it haunts me back. But just my two best friends know, so because I talk to them about it. So this thing haunts me down all the time. I mean, in my dreams, everywhere.
Wow.
Yes, so sometimes it disturbs me a lot to a point that I easily forget things. I easily forget myself. I can be with people and then I forget myself that I am here with people. So I just, kept quiet. So that with university and not being able to pay my fees for myself and, not being employed was so much on me, and people haven't, like, I usually have the attention on social media because of this bad drive thing. Oh, you're doing this bad drive, or maybe you're getting something from it, and people, expectation that you should always show up on time for them, like you should be there for the girls. Sometimes I forget myself, and at some point I actually burn out, and then that's it. I was stressed, I was depressed, but then thank God to my circle of friends, they were always there for me. So they used to tell me it's okay to cry if you want to, it's okay to rest, it's okay to feel this way. What is not okay is for you to think that there is no hope after this. So after that I was like, okay, why not? I pick myself up, and then I'm like, I have to move on. But to tell you the truth, that I still go through ups and downs, I still go through, those traumatic experiences. But then I have a coping mechanism, and I learn to manage it. So my coping mechanism is when I feel like I am losing it, I just get to the internet and find something that will cheer me up, alive, or something that will inspire me. So sometimes I read books, sometimes I just call my best friends. We can talk for hours because she's so funny. So we start talking about things, and she start giving me hopes, like, and that's it. Or sometimes I love babies. I have a niece and nephew at home. Let's start playing with them. That is how I get back on my feet.
To yourself.
Yes.
That's amazing. And it's the fact that, like you said, people expect you to show up all the time.
Yeah.
And right before the show started, we were having a conversation, and you said to me, you end up being burnt out. And you do have to learn to take time for yourself, no matter what, because that will affect you mentally. And once
course,
it affects
it
you
does.
mentally, it affects your productivity. And once, for someone like you, for the job or for the work you do, once your productivity is affected, it's noticeable.
Yeah.
Because you are out there with
All the
girls.
time.
Exactly. So I'm glad that you shared that with us. Thank you very much.
That's fine. Actually, I think sharing it is also good for me because it makes me realize that yes, I have been through a lot, and with all the obstacles, I still stood up for myself, and I'm been there for myself. Just to tell someone out there that if you're on the verge of losing it, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that you will be fine someday. And yeah,
Talk to someone.
talk to someone.
Talk to someone. I always say that. Talk to someone. Talk to you.
Yeah.
I talk to myself. My sisters will attest to that. I am constantly talking to myself. And
Which is very good.
and I enjoy talking to myself.
Yeah.
So people would look at me, my siblings before they caught me talking to myself, when they walk into my room and I'm facing the mirror and I'm talking to myself, what are you doing? And then I'll try to hide it, because I'm the oldest right now in the house.
Okay.
So I would try to hide it, because obviously the taboo of it, Dofna, they're speaking to themselves. But as I grew up, I realized this actually helps me. And it is about me. So now they all know that. Once they walk into my room and they say, you're talking to yourself, we'll come back.
I know.
So it's a normal thing now. And I always tell people talking to yourself can be so therapeutic. You
Yeah.
have no idea, because I know how it has helped me. There are thoughts in my head that I cannot properly articulate to someone else, but I can talk to myself about it.
Of course,
So
you can.
facing the mirror and just going off and just expressing how I feel, it helps.
I think writing too helps because I
Yes.
do write a lot. So sometimes when I have something in mind, I just write it down and say like, let me talk to myself. I write and write and write. There was a time I actually thought I was being very idle or useless, so I decided to do something. That is, I make a promise to myself that every day for a week I will write something very good about myself.
Nice.
And for a week, I actually started reading everything I wrote about myself, and I realized it's true. So I'm like, I don't need people to tell me. So I see this and I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do this a lot of times. So I can do more than this.
Self-affirmations.
Yeah, I can do more than this. So that itself is like motivating yourselves. And so talking to yourself is actually good. It's therapeutic, like you said. It lifts you up. It lifts your
does.
spirit
It
up.
really
Yeah.
does. It really does. And I'm happy that you said that, because that's
Yeah.
a very important. I had a friend who would tell me that every day, Cece, write something about yourself that you like. So that's actually really amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's something that people should really jot down.
Of course.
Every day, try to write something about yourself that you like, something about yourself that you appreciate, something about yourself that makes you feel good. I thank you.
Yeah.
That, because I used to do that a couple of years ago, but I completely forgot about that. And
I
that's a
mean, you can
beautiful
do it again.
Yes, that's amazing. So thank you. Thank you very much, Fatima. This has been an interesting
I know.
conversation.
I actually love it.
Thank you. And on this show, well, as you know, mental health is no joke. The society has made it taboo to talk about it, but we are here to break that. We want everyone to reach out. Once you are in a state where you cannot control your thoughts or how you feel, seek out help or someone you trust to open up to. It can help. It does wonders. Please, please, please do not ever be quiet on the struggles with your mind, because the most powerful thing about a human being is
It's a
fear.
man. Yeah.
So please don't play with it. We'll go with our final break. One more back. More with Fatoumata on Sip and Chat.
Yeah.
Welcome back after that break. Massive thank you to Global Properties. Thank you to Wax by Tickets on Instagram for this amazing, amazing outfit. Love it, love it, love it. And a big thank you to Kalimba. I'm here with Fatoumata Sane of Fatima's Pad Drive. And we're going to get into the segment that, that I like, because then I get to put people on the spot. My first question to you, Fatima, is never have I ever tried marijuana. Ooh, I love
Okay.
So if you haven't, you take a sip. But if you have, you tell me the story. I feel like you have. So just tell me the story.
Okay, so I have.
Please tell me the story. That would be, tell me.
So I have a crazy circle,
Okay.
and then Yeah, there was a time that we went out. It was sort of like a workshop, yeah.
Ooh.
So I am this person that is very curious about things. So when I saw the guys getting high, I was like, "Can I have a taste of this?" They said, "No, you can." And then the other guy pushed me out of the room. So I said, "Okay, I have your key." So when they went out, I went out inside the room, and then they took us, and then that was how I.
That was how you tried it.
Yeah,
Did you get
tried it.
high?
Yeah, I got high and I was laughing. My friends told me like, yeah, I have been laughing like throughout. Like,
Really?
so yes, I have tried that once.
Okay, that was interesting.
And
Did
yeah,
they catch you? The key of the guys you had
yes, actually
got
no, they know because I
Okay.
told them like the following month.
that you took.
Yeah,
it.
that I.
And this was at a conference.
Yes, but then we were sleeping over.
Okay,
yeah.
so it was like okay.
And
Alright.
then there was something else going on in the in the place because it
Okay.
was at Paradise shoot, I guess, and
Okay.
then yeah, at night, so these guys were coming over to just for their
Chill
show,
for
yeah.
the show. And then you were like, you know what, tonight I'm going to try.
Yeah,
this.
because I've always seen people like being interested in that,
And
so
then-
yeah,
and then-
that's it.
I,
I
never would
think
have thought, but I
like-
love it.
It's good to try things like that
course.
once in a while, so that yeah, it's good.
You know you're not missing out on
Yeah.
anything. Okay, second question. Never have I ever been on a blind date.
Ah, no,
No?
I've never been on a blind date.
Really? I have. That's it. Okay. Okay. Third question. Never have I ever missed a flight.
No, I've never missed a flight.
You've never missed a flight? Fourth
So I
question.
sipped again.
Fourth question. Never have I ever fought over a guy.
Why would I fight over a guy?
I mean, it
I'm the
happens.
prize.
Okay, high five. You better tell them. Tell them again. Tell them. What are you?
I am the prize.
They should be fighting over you.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I,
mean,
always believed. I like that. I like that. Final never have I ever question. Never have I ever sent a sext.
oh, I have.
Take a sip. Take a sip.
Okay.
Who did you send this to? Was it your boyfriend at the time?
Mm,
Or a crush at the time? Or someone
no, could be my boyfriend.
at the time? You sent it sext.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it steamy?
Mm, I don't know.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for playing this game.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Top 5 songs that you're listening to right now that you love.
Okay, I'm listening to Scars to something. I mean, I don't do well with song titles, but I know it's by Alicia.
Okay.
And then Alicia, that has been one of my favorite songs anyway.
Okay.
And
Alicia Keys.
no, Alicia something.
Dixit?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and I'm listening to Chronix
Ooh. I like Chronix too.
because I listen to him every day.
Okay.
Yes.
And
And my favorite of his songs is the Black Skin Girl.
ooh,
Yeah.
black skin. Okay.
Yeah. And I would say Day by German Express.
Okay.
It's about domestic gender-based violence,
Okay.
so I listen to it so much. The only song I listen to, I think it's because Vivian's new song with
Wally second.
no, not with Wally, with Passion, because
Okay.
her song with Wally, I still cannot get the words. I mean,
Right.
and yeah,
Okay.
mentioned for
Four, yeah.
right.
One more.
The fifth one is Zayn Malik.
Oh, I love Zayn Malik too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that. Okay. Well,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Anything you want to share with the people before we wrap up this segment?
Yes, I would love to say, like, you guys, please donate to Fatima's Pad Drive. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook, like Fatima's Pad Drive, and on Twitter, yeah, it's Pad Drive at Pad Drive. Please follow us and donate.
Donate.
Please, girls need this.
We do.
I mean,
We need to support each other. We
And
need to
thank
help
you
each
to
other.
everyone that have been supporting me from the start. I really appreciate it. You guys make my dreams come true. And it comes to reality. Sometimes I watch myself doing this. I'm like, okay, is that me? I mean, the younger me will be so proud of who I am today. I choose this as my career path because I know I have passion for it. And I know like there are girls out there that needs me like I needed others to do this for me. I mean, and for my mom, I really appreciate this one because I can get up at any time and say, like, I need it over there and I need to be there. And she'll be like, okay, go, for trusting me, for letting me follow my path and my passion, for not, dictating me like, this is what you should do and that is what you should do. And for my brothers, because I'm the only girl, for being the support system they are, and my two best friends, Sophie and Cons. I love you guys so much. I mean, you guys have been everything to me. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
for having me here. And for my dad for dropping me. She's out there waiting for me.
That's sweet.
I'm always taking him everywhere. And he's always taking me back and forth without even getting mad at me for being my support system. Thank you so much, Baba.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on here. And what a way to end Women's Month.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a part of Sip and Chat. Thank you guys for being with me, for rocking with me, for supporting Sip and Chat. This was only the first season, and the love I've received for this show has been nothing short of amazing. Stay tuned for season 2. Season 2 will be here in... When season 2 comes, you'll see the teaser. But thank you so much for being supportive. Thank you to everyone that has shared, reposted, talked about it, and helped and been on the platform. To all my guests, 20 of you, I appreciate you. To all the sponsors, to everyone that has sent something to support, to say a word, a congratulatory word, I really appreciate it. To Fatu Network, thank you. Thank you so much. And to all my subscribers on YouTube, thank you for rocking with me. Please continue to support. And I have so many more amazing ideas for season 2. Stay tuned. And this is me signing off for season 1. Peace, love, and cha-ching, cha-ching. Bye-bye.